Welcome, everybody. My name is Polly. I'm from the Latino Slant. This is a very special Malaspalabras interview here on the YouTube channel. Before we begin and bring in our very special guest, here's what I want you to do. I want to make sure you guys are subscribed to Malaspalabras, the channel right now. Hit it right there. Subscribe because we have so many great artists and such great music to share with you guys that you don't want to miss out. They say dreams don't come true. I say, au contraire, mon frere. Internet dreams come true. And our very special guest is a testament to that. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in the Malas Palabras co-founder, the man himself, Mr. Andy Vargas. How you doing, Andy?
Hey, Paulie, man, we're doing wonderful. Doing wonderful. How you, man?
I'm excited, man. I did the
Yeah,
little pre-interview with our very special guest. I'm very impressed.
there is hope. There is hope, and that's what I saw when I first met our artist, man. I knew his manager, and his
Hmm.
manager kept on telling me, "You got to connect with my boy. You got to connect with my boy."
Mm.
And his manager's John Gomez. We uh, worked with he and
Uh-huh.
Chris Perez.
Nice.
On Chris's release,
Yeah.
and he kept on telling me, man, next we got to do my boy, we got to do my boy, and I said, all right, man, and he was just so right, brother. He was just so right. We
Great. Well, let's bring him in. Listen, it's an unconventional world. It's a new world on online and through social media, and that's how this young gentleman has kind of risen to internet fame with his TikTok, with his music. We're gonna bring him on, and now he is a Malas Palabras recording artist. We got Mr. Louie McFly. Hello, sir.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Feeling pretty good, man. Pretty good. It was nice to meet you on the pre-interview. Now, nice to have you on here.
Pleasure's all mine.
So I guess my first question was already answered, but love to hear your side. What did your manager say in regards to, hey, I have someone that I'd like you to meet?
Yeah, well, John we had been working on some projects earlier and prior to that, so he had told me that he knew somebody that he wanted me to work with, and then I mean when he mentioned Andy's name, me myself already knew who he was, so I was excited about working with him, and then he's like, I have the connection. He's like, it's just a matter if you want to do it or not. And I told him, yeah, of course. Like, I want to take every opportunity that's thrown at me, full force. So that's how we got kind of connected. And so far, so good. Everything's been great. I can't really complain. I feel like we're just starting out still. I feel like it's very fresh, but it's headed in the right direction for sure.
So, Andy, when you're looking for new artists and then working with John Gomez, obviously you trust him, uh, having a relationship with him. How did this transpire? Did he was there already songs that Louis did, or he's like, oh, go look at his TikTok, or was it something that's that simple? And then what was the next step after that?
Yeah, John sent me Louis' song "Make Her Laugh," and I heard it, and I fell in love with the song. I fell in love with his voice, and honestly, the his following is just, it's an added perk. You know what I mean? For me. I come from the old school, man. Like I love just like dope artists, dope vocals, and sentiment behind you know what they're singing. You know what I mean? And he definitely had that. And I felt that come through with his recording. And then I went on his TikTok, and I saw him singing the songs, doing the translations, and reminded me a lot of what I did with my dad. When I was signed to RCA, we were doing translations together, and trying to break ground doing that back in the old school R&B scene. And and then actually going in and requesting musical and publishing rights, with an attorney and stuff to those songs. Um, and so I feel like this is it was perfect. It was perfect for us to get involved. The fact that we already had a great rapport with John and Chris and George. Loves both of them and stuff. And so it was all about time. We talked about this like mid last year and stuff, and we just needed really to pull everything together. But I'll go ahead and let I'll go ahead and let Louie talk about this latest release that we just released, called Amor. But that's when we really, I think, hit that, like, that R&B, language swap.
A couple of years ago, pandemic hits, and you start fiddling around with TikTok. You
Yep.
create this thing with language swap that no one really before you was really doing that we know of. We'll just say that we know. Tell people who may not follow you what that whole thing was and where you've taken it and how the audiences followed you with that.
Yeah. So when pretty much when the pandemic hit, or even pre-pandemic, I remember everybody was glued to their phones. Nobody really was going out, obviously because of the laws and whatnot. So to that, I had a lot of free time on my hands. I had a lot of time to just kind of scroll and just, I feel like I had an opportunity to kind of like try to blow up on social media. At the moment, I didn't know what to do. I remember starting off maybe like the first couple of weeks just doing regular covers, and that didn't really do well because it doesn't. What I learned was that you have to do something that people are going to want to watch, that's going to stand out from the norm. So I kind of put that formula into play, and I was like, what can I do that's different than the next person that can sing the same exact song? So I think at the time, "Toxic" was probably one of the biggest trending songs on TikTok, which was the one by Britney Spears. And I swapped that. So I did the language swap. So from English, I sang it to Spanish. It was still very fresh, so it wasn't like an exact translation, or even to this day, it's not never an exact translation, but it was kind of like far from the original. But people just kind of like the newer version of it to something as they've never heard before. So I feel like that's what kind of resonated with a lot of people, and that was like my first viral video, and that one bumped me from like 100 followers to like almost like 7,000 followers within overnight. So that video had not that many views, but it bumped me up super fast. I kind of reused the same formula and placed it into different songs, and I kid you not, videos back to back to back were just blowing up. Like it was from one song to the next song to that same week. I was gaining like over, I think, a couple 50 million views like every like month or so. And then little by little, it started expanding into this whole like theme. And that's where language swap kind of came. I feel like people have done it before, but in the sense of the pandemic, when Reels and like TikTok and all that stuff started coming out, short term videos was like a really big thing. So that kind of just gave more of a impulse into like what I was doing, because people have made songs in the past from English to Spanish and Spanish to English. It's just it never really happened. I feel like more in like this time, like nowadays. So that's what I feel like. That's what kind of took it off, and it became its own, like it had its own life form from that. And to this day, we're here now. We're like 1.3 million on TikTok. We're about to hit 350K on Instagram. I'm looking to venture out.
Nonchalant.
Yeah.
1.3. Look at this guy,
Yeah.
Andy. Oh,
Yeah.
nonchalant.
So Louie, why don't you tell us a little bit about Amor?
So Amor is based off of the original song Love by Kiesha Cole. And that's probably one of my most viral videos to this day. It kind of gained traction like overnight type of thing. Within about a week, it blew up. It was almost like I think like 8 million or something like that, which actually ended up getting recognition from herself, Kiesha Cole. Which ended up following me. We started talking a little bit. We were initially talking about even like possibly working together, which I had then brought up to my manager, John. And then John had mentioned it. I think this is a time where me and Andy were still getting close, still getting to know each other, and like kind of working things out. And then that was like our first official like collaboration. That's where we kind of took it upon ourselves to record the song, make it our own. Little differentiations to the original, but obviously for the lyrics wise as well. And I feel like once we locked that in and we kind of heard what it was going to be, that's when we kind of looked at each other. We're just like, yeah, this is gonna work. Like this is definitely gonna work. That's what it became itself. Apart from just like that 30-second video and on TikTok, it ended up being a whole song.
Yeah, we got how many views did you get on that swap?
On that swap alone on TikTok was like about 7 to 8 million.
7. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
Instagram, took off just as much. It took off to like 3 million as well. Instagram.
What was surprising for you in this new style of collaboration and creativity, and what wasn't, what made you feel comfortable, and then what was kind of like a surprise for you in regards to recording and working with Andy in in an actual studio?
Yeah. Well, it's different. It's definitely like a different environmental change. So like as opposed to just sitting in your car, hitting record on your phone, speaking. Which the microphones on iPhones are like amazing nowadays, but it's completely different to that studio shift, because then you kind of practice your breathing, which Andy's been helping me with a lot, like breathing, timing, vocally straining yourself, trying not to do that. How to sing from beneath and not from your throat. And it's just a lot of like things that I haven't learned on my own. I've just kind of been hearing and eyeballing everything since I've grown up. I've never had any vocal lessons. I've never had any training. I've never gone to a school for vocally singing. So I'm proud of myself at the same time, but I know there's a lot of work that can be done. So when I shifted into that studio, I knew that it's out of my element, but it's in a good way. It's not to make me sound bad. It's to make me sound better.
Okay, so you have your recording artist, you have this guy, Mr. Viral, the bazillions and everything, which is wonderful, and you've worked with him now with this song. You invite him to come and perform live with you.
We did. We did.
What
Yeah.
was that? What did that entail? Do you have to rehearse, and then how did it come out?
So I've been playing at this place called Spaghettini's. It's a jazz club and restaurant, and it's just a great environment, a great place to work your material and get one-on-one with the audience. And so we had a show recently, and I invited Louie to come and perform with us and with my band and I at Spaghettini's. And so what we did was we performed songs, or he performed songs that we actually performed back when we had the NPR live show last August. And we did it again, got up on stage, rocked it. And man, I'll go ahead and let Louie tell you, but he really got up and just floored everybody. The audience loved him, and he did a great job.
That's pretty amazing to have him on there.
And very much so. Louie, he came, confident, and did his homework with the songs. And to be honest with you, we just winged it. We were backstage, and we went over the songs with him backstage, and we all kind of like, the musicians, my band were kind of like mimicking their parts and stuff. And we just kind of, flowed through it. And I got to say, give it up to my band for that, because, they really, they're a very comfortable group of musicians to play with, so yeah. It all just kind of came together in that way. And, Louie performed Amor and murdered it. He performed Make Her Laugh. And, even my family were like, man, you really got us with that one. So everybody get ready for this next single that we're going to do, Make Her Laugh. And then he also performed Tennessee Whiskey, by Chris Stapleton, and he murdered that one as well. But, it's all about just being comfortable. It's all about just relaxing, being confident with it, and really having faith that, everything's going to be all right, and then just, go with the outcome from there.
Okay, Louie, but let's hear it from you in regards to one of your dreams come true, getting to perform on stage, first time with Andy. How was it, man?
It was great, man. It was a great experience. Like I said, like it's this environmental change where you kind of put yourself in front of people's, faces, expectations, and obviously you want to make everybody happy. You want to make them proud, especially the people that are putting you up there in front of them, in front of everybody else. So obviously want to make them look good. But overall, man, the experiences have been amazing. I'm still not used to it. I'm not at that point where I can say like I can just go up to any stage and just make it my own. I'm still learning how to perfect like stage presence, how to talk a little more, conversate with the crowd. I feel like it's naturally in me. It's just I feel like it can be a lot better as a performer, as a singer. But as of right now, I feel like so far with the music that I've been singing, I feel like I've executed well. I definitely think I can always do better. There's always room for improvement. There's never a cap on how good you can be. But so far, so good, man. I'm really proud of myself and also proud of that I've been doing well with Andy and also my manager, John. So I'm really excited to see what's to come and where I'll end up performing one of these days.
Well, that's a good question. What is next for you? What is to come as far as with this song and with Malas Palabras?
Mhm.
What are some of your ideas?
Apart from the music that we have like recorded already, which the latest release, and then with the song coming out soon, the new one, the Make a Laugh song, I want to venture off into my actual musical career now, in regards to being my own artist and focusing on my own, followers and support and family and friends and all that stuff. I want to make sure that people now not only recognize me for making covers, but I want people to make covers of my songs, kind of following my footsteps. I want to show up to an event not as a creator or like as a influencer. I want to show up as one of the the artists that are performing for that event. It's more of just stepping out of that bubble of social media and entering into the music world and getting and I think with the group that I'm with Malas Palabras and also with Andy, kind of guiding me, and also my manager John, I feel like I'm in the right direction. And again, it's still very early, but we're definitely getting. I know we're moving in the right direction for sure.
Andy, that's great insight is in regards to this young man and looking at his future. It's like, you know what? I don't want to just be an influencer. I want to be an artist. I'm an artist. That's you got to be hyped for that.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we want to do is we want to help that process, be the one of his arms to, help with all of there's just so many things to be focused on, the reason Malas Palabras started and the reason I wanted to do this with George was because like I want to be to our artists what I would want in my career. You know what I'm saying? And so there are a lot of things that I wish, I had help with, from, all of the distribution process to marketing to strategy to content creation to, relationships to, extending relationships, out there in opportunities and to bring in opportunities, music licensing, all of those things take detailed work in each field. And this is why big labels have mad departments and stuff handling this stuff. And still you need quality music, you need ideas. There's always just like one person that has the idea, but also you need people that are in your corner. Like you could be in a big label machine and not have people that are truly in your corner, but because you're there, you have this juice, of this big label and stuff. And there's no guarantee. As a matter of fact, years of your life can go within that system, and they went by. I mean, did you make money or were you spending advances, right? So I believe that building, your foundation, and obviously these days, a strong foundation, having a social media audience is a foundation. And then we build from there, because it's so interesting how one platform really doesn't translate to the other. They won't like click and come over here. They won't come from YouTube over to, to TikTok, or from TikTok over to, Spotify. It takes a lot of consistent work, right? And, we've got a great team, in the Malas Palabras family, Adrian Cisneros, Chris Morris from San Diego, yourself, Paulie, and Latino Slant, and, other management and entertainment partners and then George, who helped give us a boost. And we meet consistently, every week. And I can't forget to mention our distribution partners, United Masters and Cesar Sanchez over there. Because, I mean, United Masters has been just life-changing for us. and we meet every week. We actually have a meeting tomorrow to talk about, this year's, releases and stuff. And so we're constantly strategizing, seeing what people are doing, what's working, what's not. Let's go after that. I'm working day and night at, ideas. I mean, even from content creation, from being, and having your Latino Slant channel, how long it takes and how long content creation takes, man. I mean, this is no joke. So you really have to be passionate to support yourself and to support artists, and everyone has to really want to, and be passionate behind the project, right? Like, it's not, everyone can be doing whatever we want to do, you know what I mean? But I love this stuff, man. I've been in the music business and this game for quite some time. And just like the opportunity to have this like podcast here right now and be able to share this, to the world is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't able to do this before. We were working with MIDI and sequencers and drum machines and 8 tracks, you know what I mean? And that's still now people, start playing with that and you get a sound out of that gets you a new inspiration that you just don't get, from a computer. So my point being is that's why we have Malaspalabras Records, is because we want to support artists. We can't, do this for everyone, right? So we got to make our decisions, say, all right, this is what we're going to do right now. This is the season for Louie. We're going to build Louie and build these songs behind Louie, and then see how that, penetrates, see how that works. What's working, what's not. Let's keep on doing this. Let's keep on doing that. But it takes just consistent swinging, man. Consistent swinging. That's what we're gonna do. We've got some great artists, man. I'm pumped about this year. 2024 is gonna be crazy.
I'm sure you have a whole bunch of ideas and goals that you've been talking about. Anyone that you would like to collaborate besides that you've been working with Andy? Maybe like a dream duo in the future. I don't know. We all have
Definitely.
them, right? We all have ideas.
Yeah. I mean, ever since starting to blow up and whatnot on social media, I've always had my ideas of wanting to work with people. A really, really sick artist that I would like to work with, which I'm actually friends with now, is Dioro. He's the Mexican DJ that pretty much plays at all of the EDM festivals and whatnot. Him and I are good friends now. We met through social media. We love each other's stuff, and we're looking into that and obviously with help of Malaspalabras and also with John and Andy. I would love to get into a collab with him. Obviously, him being the producer on the track, and then me being an artist singing. But yeah, man, there's a lot of open doors from what it seems like through social media. I have a lot of people that have connected with me, even with just covers of their own songs that we're looking into. There's a handful of major celebrity artists that have reached out and they like the stuff that I do. So I'm hoping we can get some more collaborations in that.
Well, it's exciting, gentlemen. I want to thank you again for tuning in with us, hanging out with us with this special podcast. My name is Polly. I'm with the Latino Slant, but you're on the Malaspalabras YouTube channel. Do me a favor, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And if you're watching this on a replay, comment. They want to know what you're thinking. Again, we're now with Malaspalabras recording artist Louie McFly. Thank you so much, senor. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, just want to say thank you, Paulie. Appreciate the opportunity to come on the podcast, to your show as well. Also, thank you, Andy, Malaspalabras, and definitely George, Lopez, and John Gomez. Thank you for everything, man. I appreciate you.
And Malaspalabras co-founder, singer, musician, Andy Vargas. Thank you so much, carnal. I'll see you.
Thank you for this special podcast with Louie McFly. Also, we want to give a shout out to George Lopez. Thank you so much. We love you, George. John Gomez, management for Louie McFly.
You guys stay tuned. 2024, a lot of big projects, a lot of big work coming through. So make sure to stay updated on our social medias and also YouTube. Got a lot of stuff coming.
Yes, sir. Malaspalabras Records all the way around. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Let's get it.
Peace.